In the last video, we created this 2D drawing from our 3D model. There's a title block on the page, we edited some title block text, and things are looking pretty good. It's simple and good. Now let's add some dimensions. The trick with dimensions is to add only those dimensions that are helpful for understanding and making the object. You can access dimensions here. But before we go there, you can also simply add dimensions by clicking on a line and pressing Enter. This little icon gives you some further options about the dimension. For major dimensions or simple dimensions, this method works quite well, even for radius dimensions. But as you can see here, this dimension is now sticking out a bit. You can then click and hold the dimension and move it around. Let's zoom in a bit more. It's worth experimenting with some of these dimension options to get the result that you need. For example, in this situation, where you have a rounded corner, you may want to use point to point to make sure you're getting the right dimension. Point to line is also a useful dimension for this case. You can see here that we can dimension from this corner to this line, giving us the dimension for the amount of exposed metal from the handle. Notice how the dimension line is always extended beyond the drawing whenever possible. This keeps the drawing neat and tidy. If you need to zoom in further for tiny details like these, then you might find the scale of the drawing isn't appropriate as the dimensions will look too big. In that case, you may want to add a second drawing sheet to your set of drawings and use a larger scale just for that detail area. One other thing to note is hidden details. In the previous video, we looked at the hidden detail of the isometric view. All views have the option to toggle on hidden details. For example, look at the side view. When I double-click the view and click the hidden detail icon, you can see the detail of where the pins pass through the handles. Zooming in, you can also see the text which was extruded down into the steel section and the small tab that lifts the bottle cap. You can toggle these details on or off as needed. Keep adding dimensions until you get all the details that you need. You might also want to add some labels to your views. To do that, use the Note command. Click on the drawing and enter the note. You can then move these notes around to locate them properly on the page. As I mentioned before, this isn't a fully featured 2D drawing space, and therefore it doesn't have a full text editor. It's typical to label the views. In this case, I'm labeling this view as the front view because it contains the most information in one view. And because a bottle opener doesn't really have a front or a top, I'm labeling this view as the end view. And that's starting to look like a real documentation or working drawing. If you found this video helpful, then hit the like button, leave a comment or question, and consider subscribing for more tutorials like this one. We'll see you next time.